Are you ready?
My name is Vanda.
Do you know the difference between energy and consciousness? I got asked the other day, Vanda, what's the difference between energy and consciousness? And how does consciousness be, for example? Where does it come from? What is it? So, energy is consciousness, right? But energy has an expandable way of connecting. There's everything has its energy, right? So if we were to look at our surroundings and all of this, we go look at these beautiful trees, right? And anything that has life to it has consciousness. That's the difference, right? As subtle as it is, it's so profound in its magnitude. Like it's hollow tree, it's a consciousness, it's been here, it has its wisdom, right? So in the space here, that's consciousness. Anything that gives life, the soil that I'm standing on has a consciousness. Why? Because it grows things, okay? That's the consciousness, right? How it moves through you, okay, is in a way of a correspondence, right, of this consciousness of giving life. So I wanted to bring your awareness that in this time of our lives right now, where our diversity and the magnitude of our own evolution and perception of life as it is, energy, law of attraction, awakening, we are far more tuned in to accepting this consciousness that is forever evolving and forever present, right? Does consciousness, need a body? Like, does it need a tree? Does it need a human body? Does it need? No. Consciousness is. It's a super intelligence of awakening life, right? So now in saying this, why would I bring this to your awareness so that you're able to feel and start recognizing the difference? Well, first and foremost, we are consciousness. We are part of the eternal blueprint of this universal thread of light. This is who we are. We are energy. We are this consciousness. Okay? Energy is not just the light that has no words, no wisdom, no that. We are this consciousness, right? We are evolving and we are understanding and we are creating and evolving from this creation. So I wanted to bring into awareness, because people are going, I am growing, I am developing, I am self-developing myself, I am, tuned in, and I hear this, and what there is and what we're seeing is this contrast of behavior in this thread of life. All right, something that gives life and births life and is beautiful and is forever an offspring of it, is life in itself. That's conscious, right? It has its wisdom, it has its beauty, it has its contrast as well. And so there's a slight detour, and I wouldn't even go that it's a detour. I think that it's because nothing is separated in this law of correspondence, right? Where does this mean, this sense of spite and the sense of destruction Okay. And the void, it's the complete void of benevolence. It's not like snarky. It's not like, hurt. It's that contrast. It's destructive. It's mean. It's hurtful. It's there as the full contrast of anything that brings life. Where does that come from? Because people are becoming so ignorant to their own behaviors that it's truly, the word is, and there is no word, because it's divisive and it separates you from your core. And I hear people go, well, the person is just rotten at its core. And I'm like, no, there's no person that is rotten at its core, right? There's no space of divine spirit that is rotten at its core. There's no life that is birthed from rot. So where does that come from? How does that consciousness turn into this meanness? And is there a mean consciousness? Well, if nothing is ever separated, then it has to come from consciousness, and then the water just got muddy and muddier and muddier and muddier and darker and darker and darker. But where does it come from? It comes from your thoughts. It comes from the way you are feeling. It comes from closed hearts. It comes from the space of destruction. So why would you be in the space of being that? Where does that come from? It is from a space that has been closed off. So that meanness and that destruction and that way of thinking becomes now an unconscious pattern, okay, or beliefs that are separated, okay, from the core spirit that actually gives life. So why does it carry on? Because it's law. The more you think about it, the more it actually breathes. The more you're talking about it, and the more you're talking about it, the more those images come of like, you know what? I'm just gonna go in and, shoot him or slap him or hit him or destroy and burn everything that they own or that they have, and because you want that pain to be inflicted. And that comes from lots of different emotional offsets that are spiraling. But they're spiraling and you cannot stop law of attraction. So the more you are in those spaces, the more you have to breathe and bring this faith of knowing that there is no life worth destroying, or there is no space within you. But if you are not in that space any longer, and you're a rocket of destruction, you're getting angrier and angrier, you're getting meaner and meaner, you are getting darker and darker. What do you do? How do you redirect that bomb, that amplified energy, okay, that is now separating you from your own life? Because that type of energy is not inclusive, okay? It is super divisive, all right? It is mentally distorted, all right? It is emotionally draining and withered with no possibility but the continuation of a lonely a hopeless, lifeless experience. And I've just explained, depression. And I've just explained, mental distortions that are just rapidly evolving through our own societies, with no hope, no conclusions to what can be done. And so where does that come from? It can come from so many ways. The foods we eat, the people we live with, the relationships we have, the parents we've chosen, the circumstances that we've gone into, our habits, all these things. This is not a therapy session. This is an observance, a conversation of consciousness. It all started somewhere. So today it's about when you are in that space of you becoming mean, of you turning mean, or being in an environment that is mean to you. Unplug, disengage, interrupt. You distort that, because if you do not, and you do not have the muscle for that, then you're part of that. And that's where you've got to take personal responsibility. There's no right or wrong, but you don't see that space evolving as victorious. There's nothing there, that is substituting to bring in beauty and balance and an holistic approach to bringing life and goodwill to you and to those around you. So, listening to the words you say, mastering to how you're thinking, is now no longer a luxury. It is a necessity. Your lifeline now has to be your conscious awareness to your well-being, and to understanding that discernment, which I call a ray of light, right, which is emanating through the way you're able to see things, from an inner vision of yourself, has to have mastership over those feelings and those thought forms that interrupt you and have the power to bring the mean out of you. They call them psychic intrusions, or they call them pulses of ignited passion, or they call them pulses of energy. You can call them whatever you want. Because until you feel that, until you have that mean energy pass through you, you then recognize how vulnerable we all are. It takes away. It robs you. It saddens your cells, your life experience. It robs the life from you and the hope of others. It distorts you and takes you further into the maze, away from you, your loved ones, and those around you. Meanness is not anger. You stay angry for a long time, you've now become mean. That's anger out of control. You are in an environment that showcases, embodies, and enhances or triggers those emotions to being present all the time. You have to be understanding that consciousness is consciousness, and that is evolving to a cellular count. That means that your cells now are adapting to that situation, to those environments, to those conversations, to the way you're thinking. How about if that's not even your thought process? It's like having squatters, okay, in your own vibrational blueprint of the way you're feeling it. You have feelers, you've got thinkers, you've got thought forms, you've got emotions, you've got all these things, and you've allowed these squatters. Squatters only take up more and more space. Who is the authority of you? The wicked witch? The mean king? The villain? Who is your inner sense of avatar? There's no guardianship in the universe. Guardianship that's guarding your light, a guardianship of light and wisdom that is a mean force that is channeling or sending off conscious signals of hatred. If that is what you are receiving, then that is what you are getting and vibrating and being within you. If that is where you are waking up in the morning and you're getting these hatred signals and these mean signals and all that, unplug. Be your own force of light. And when you can no longer do that for yourself, all right, then call on a trusted, loving friend. Someone that loves you just as you are. Because love is the benevolence. Love is the interrupter. And I'm seeing this incredible consciousness of love and support on the planet. There's an evolving enchantment of wisdom and knowing and knowledge and threads of possibilities. And every day those things are being swapped and exchanged and given up and thrown away for something that is so irrelevant, poor and lifeless, that is going to go nowhere and has the power to distort you, and you are the one with that's left of the marks of a mean strike, of a mean word, of a mean aspect that only robs you of your inner beauty. So, knowing that, feeling that, and then choosing to bring it in, taking charge, and overcoming any moment of those feelings is now in your hands as you now step into your own guardianship and choose consciousness, love, and being that authority to reign over that meanness that is like ink in an ocean with no beginning and no end. Breathe it in. Be a guardianship of peace for you. And as you do that for you, you just watch that ripple effect. Consciously uncover all those gems that are so rightfully yours. Okay?
My name is Vanda.